Hi, my name is Sunny, also known as Motographer. Motographer being the keyword because that is my artist name. And talking about art, I like to consider that I'm also an artist because I'm also a photographer. I used to delve professionally in graphic arts and I generally am a very visually oriented guy. This year, the new Whitpillen 250. They're actually pieces of art, and that is what actually the company wants us to believe, and they believe it themselves. What is the aim of any art? I think there are many aims, but two main aims are to evoke a sense of achievement and satisfaction when somebody creates a piece of art. Like when I click a photo, I should feel that it's good. It should, lend me that, wow, okay, this is a nice one. And second is the curators, the owners, the consumers of that art piece. They need to be happy when they see a piece of art. And that is exactly what happened when the Whitpillen 250 and of course the Swatpillen 250 was launched almost 4 years ago from this day. When I first saw especially the Whitpillen, I was blown away because to me it seemed like a piece of art made out of a rock, like a monolith, very clean lines, amazing bodywork, something which India hadn't seen before. I instantly wanted it, not to actually ride it, but because I wanted this to be in my garage as a piece of art. I believe that motorcycles are actually successful or failure the moment the world sees them for the first time. This is the first impression that we all talk about. And if you make the right first impression, everything else follows. How it rides, the kind of specs it has on paper, and the purpose it intends to serve, and of course the price. This is 2024 and I am with the new Whitpillen 250 in Pune, but this is not the protagonist. This is the new Swatpillen 250. No, wait, this is the 401. Yes, apparently they decided not to launch the Whitpillen 401, but here we have its bigger brother. But this is not exactly the place that this bike is intended to be. And because the Swatpillen is supposed to be a scrambler, let's go hunting for a little bit of off-road patches and let's enjoy the beautiful environment that Pune has to offer to us Delhiites. Let's go. This is nice. Yeah, this is nice. It's got the same character as of the Duke 390. The slipper clutch does help. Now let's take this little bit off-road, shall we? Imagine having a road bike that you can also take into these trails. That is quite wonderful. And this is a steep drop. I hope I don't fall. Oh God. Here we go. This is nice. Beautiful. Look at that. Right now I'm at Mulshi and this is a reservoir. There is a dam somewhere and we are here with the new Swatpillen 401 en route while coming here. Even though the tires are supposed to be dual purpose, mind you, not off-road, dual purpose. The ground was so wet in some places and the mud was so slippery that this bike has reached here, and that itself is a miracle because I was literally sliding all through. And in some places it's just like quicksand. You go through right inside like this, as you can see. So I've got to clean this as well. One of the things that is so beautiful about motorcycling, that you can reach to such places, and this is what the swath pillion also enables you to do. If you're primarily a road rider or an urban dweller, if you just want to do these kind of trails, this is the bike for you. Not only it looks the part, I mean, it looks so different, it actually gives you that confidence to take on these trails. Now let me just clean this. So guys, who is this bike for exactly? The Husqvarnas are for people who want to be different, people who want to follow the philosophy of lagom, which in Swedish means just the right amount. And that is what Husqvarna have decided to do with their road motorcycles ever since they, of course, started making it. But there has been a little bit of a departure from that philosophy this year. Why? Because they have added a few more things that were not there in the previous generation with pillions and the swath pillions. So one of the things that you will see in both the machines, the seat is much bigger, wider and longer to accommodate one more person properly. You have a bigger fuel tank. This one is now 13.5 liters, which is a lot more than the 9.5 liters which was there in the previous generation. There is a rack on top of the tank, which is actually smaller than the previous swath pillion, which means that you cannot get a bag onto it as easily like your backpack. Other design changes include increase in the proportion of the headlights to match the increase of the tank size, new full 5-inch full color TFT dash with connectivity features, and of course you've got an underbelly exhaust, but the right side is more fuller and it's more complete visually. The front rotor, the disc, has been shifted to the right hand side, and then also you have a curved swing arm, a right offset monoshock. Again, this is both because of, I think, an increased airbox size and also because of the visual symmetry they wanted to maintain on the right side of the motorcycle. There is one thing which has gobsmacked everyone, which is the design of the handrail. Could be said as practical, but definitely it's not matching the rest of the motorcycles. The tires are top of the line. They are Pirelli Scorpion rally tires and they are dual purpose, not exactly off-roads. It's written over there radial tubeless, although you have spokes, but this has a tube inside it. So in case you want to put the mags from the width pillion onto here, you just don't need to get a new set of tires. The rest of the package in terms of looks seems pretty futuristic to me, and if you want to make it into a cafe racer, you can, which I'm planning to do, because I'm planning to get the 401. Actually, I wanted a width pillion 401, but still you can also convert this very easily by getting the mags and of course a little bit lower handlebar, or you can make this bike even more let's say off-road friendly by of course changing the tires. This essentially is the same as the Duke 390. There is no change in the engine characteristic. There is no retuning. This makes 46 horsepower. This makes 39 Newton meters of torque, exactly at the same RPMs as a Duke 390. So it means that if you have ridden the new Duke 390, which has a 399cc mill, the new one, it's going to be exactly the same in terms of how it feels. So it's got a 820mm seat height, which is little lesser than what it was in the previous swath pillions, which makes it a little bit more accessible for shorter riders. There are a lot of visual changes that also makes the bike almost 20% longer than the previous generation, and it is still relatively light at 173 kgs fully fueled. In fact, this has almost 90% of the parts changed compared to the previous generation, including the big change in the upgraded engine, which is now 399cc, same as the new KTM Duke 390. It also has cornering ABS, courtesies a 6-axis IMU from Bosch, and in the Supermoto mode, the rear ABS is also turned off. In fact, we also saw a cruise control function in the speed limiter menu, but there was no corresponding hardware on the switchgear. It also has WP suspension in the front and it's adjustable for compression and rebound, while the rear is adjustable for preload. It also has a quick shifter, what Husqvarna calls as easy shift. The Swat Pillion 401 is 2,92,000 ex-showroom in Delhi, and the Vit Pillion 250 is 2,19,000 ex-showroom Delhi. So basically, this bike is as flickable as a Duke 390, but I think because of the handlebars and generally because the seat is longer, the bike length is I think a little bit longer than the Duke. I think this feels a little bit more planted. So it's a very, very precise motorcycle like the KTM Duke 390. But because of the design language, you might want to ride it a little bit more sophisticatedly, if I can add. The engine is so lively, it beckons you to keep revving, ride it like a hooligan. This bike can be gentlemanly because it looks like that and can also go really fast when you want it. The brakes are on point, and of course it's got a quick shifter and it's also got a slipper clutch, which means that you can do extremely hard riding in the mountains if it's safe, of course. A lot of people who want to buy the Husqvarnas, they actually don't know who makes and sells them and where to get a test ride from. Guys, you can find a Husqvarna at a KTM showroom because this brand is actually owned by KTM. I just wonder why are so many motorcycle brands have either been making weapons, guns. Why? I mean, BSA, Benelli and Husqvarna. In fact, the logo of the Husqvarna, if I'm not wrong, is a twin barrel gun. That is what it is. And that was actually established in 1989. No, sorry, 1889. No, wait. 1689, it was established as a gun manufacturer. Can you imagine how far ago is that? That is like 400 odd years, something like that. It's insane. Talking about motorcycles, they first made their bike in 1903 and then it was sold to Kajiva, I think BMW, and finally in 2013, I think KTM, they decided to buy this brand because they knew now they have Bajaj to make the proper road bikes for the whole world. So support Made in India, support these kind of motorcycles, go buy Husqvarnas. If you want to see the Vit Pillion 401, if you want to see the 701s, make this a popular brand. Otherwise, I'll shoot you with a Husqvarna gun. No, I'm joking. Oh, hang on. I think I am the one who's going to get shot because now Debanjan Mondal is going to say about what he thinks about this new Swat Pillion and his experience with the older one. Let's go.
Hi, this is Dev here, and I am the man behind the lens for all of the videos in xBhp. Yes, I am a proud owner of Swat Pillion 250. After almost 33,000 kilometers, I'm super happy that I made a decision about 3 years ago that I want to buy a bike which is a class apart from the rest of the bike on the market. The sleek lines, the design, overall design, it was completely different than any other bike at that time on the market. I did a lot of adventures. When I first bought, that was the first bike, took that bike on Gurudongma Lake. That was maybe the first bike on that terrain, 17,800 feet. And no one thought about taking that bike because people were a bit worried. Without any problem, that bike survived the whole terrain and everything. When I heard the launch of this new 401, my expectation was really high. But after seeing this, definitely I have some good thoughts about it. I have some bad things going on my mind after watching and after riding. The older one, there is a main two issue was there, that is the seat height and the ground clearance. And that thing was completely solved in this bike. It is now good for all Indian standard. In the older, the pillion seat was really short, but here you have a good broader seat for both the pillion as well as the rider. And another thing is they changed the suspension, similar like Duke, and that's why the ground clearance and seat height, that problem is completely solved, and it is good for daily commuting and maybe some good off-roading terrain, maybe trails, and maybe some long touring as well. So one thing that was lag on the 250, that is the power, definitely. And now for this new 401, they are sharing the same new engine with the Duke. So you have all the characteristics in terms of power and torque, everything. They are completely like the newly launched Duke. and the response is really good. One thing I noticed here, the bike was really grounded throughout the time, that you can easily control on the road, and it's pretty flexible because of the slim design and everything. So now they have changed the old tire, the old MRF Rev Z, and now it's the Scorpion Rally STR, sticky on the road, both on road and off road. Little on the expensive side, but still it's a good tire. This particular tire gives a completely different look, completely a scrambled look on your bike. Now they have the TFT display. Yeah, I was a little bored with the digital console what I have on the Swat Pillion. Now this looks really good. It looks exciting, like you are changing the ABS supermoto mode and they're showing the animation and everything. One more thing which is really I was looking for, that was the tank size, because 9.5 liter was pretty bad in terms of the overall range, and now I am happy that they have 13.5 liter here. It was a relief for me that this bike at least have a more than 300 kilometer of range. So being an old owner, should I go for it or not? I still prefer the old look. That was pretty minimalistic, the single panel and everything, that was even more minimalistic and very futuristic. Yeah, for power and for all the different things like the tire, the suspension, the ground clearance and all, yes, I will definitely go for it.
So you may want to ask that if it is exactly the same as a Duke 390, why even they have bothered to come out with the Husqvarnas? That is what I began with. This is all about the design language of preference. This is the only scrambler you're going to get from the house of Bajaj, if I may say. While there is one more, that is a Triumph 400X, and this segment seems to get crowded by the way, because this segment seems to be the most important one for any motorcycle manufacturer worth their salt. In fact, starting from the RR310s to the RS457, this segment seems to be overcrowded right now. But if you look closely, there is more than enough demand for these kind of motorcycles in this segment than actually what manufacturers are ready to cater to. When I say more demand, means like demand for different kind of motorcycles, different genres of motorcycle, which includes, of course, scramblers like this, cafe races like the Whitpillion, and adventure motorcycles like the Adventure 390, and of course street bikes, even racing bikes like the RS457. You can actually make this kind of an engine in a country like India. India has the capability to even make bigger CC engines, but you need the firepower, you need the people to buy it. Who will buy new motorcycles? The youth, the young people. India is the youngest country on earth in terms of the motorcycling population, and we dictate what the motorcycle manufacturers are going to make. And when they make anything in India, that is of course going to be exported out of India globally, because we have reached those quality levels and people have started knowing India for being a manufacturer of quality two-wheelers which meet the international standards. In fact, many times they would also exceed the international standards because of the kind of terrain, the kind of places that we Indians ride our motorcycles to. If you ask me, what would you choose between this and the Whitpillion? I would have chosen the first generation Whitpillion 250. The new one is more towards the scramblerish type, and it's not exactly a cafe racer anymore. So I think I would go for the Swat Pillion 401. Why? Because they have decided not to launch the Whitpillion 401. Like I said earlier, I have no idea why. In fact, I do, because they also have a chance to call us again to Pune at the launch of the 401.